longest intermission ever. But now that we made it through, it's time for us to return to Oz for the conclusion of this captivating musical epic. The Wicked for Good review is coming your way right now. Greetings, citizens of Oz, and welcome to the latest edition of the Porter Report. My name is BJ Porter, and I hope everybody is having an amazing day today. For all of my returning viewers, it is wonderful to see you all again, and for all my first timers out there, welcome, and we hope you enjoy everything that this video and channel has to offer. For starters, I want to say that I hope everybody is having a wonderful and safe holiday week. While you are waiting for the commencement of the big feast happening on Thursday, I figured I would give you guys a little bit of an appetizer in the form of the latest Porter Report movie review. This segment allows me to express my thoughts and opinions about the movies that I see and enjoy, and those of you do as well. Musicals, for the most part, can be hit or miss depending on the audience, especially in today's cinematic landscape. But with the right team and the right talent, you can create something that is truly the best in the genre. And if you want a good example of that practice today, you can find it within the untold story of The Witches of Oz. Today I'm giving you guys the official review for Wicked for Good, directed by John M. Chu and starring Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, Marissa Bodie, Michelle Yeoh, and Jeff Goldblum. I honestly don't think I've seen a musical phenomenon that has captivated audiences this decade quite like Wicked. Unless you want to count that animated Demon Hunter movie that came out this past summer on Netflix. Wicked has been such a beloved story that has captured the hearts of fans around the world since its Broadway introduction in 2003. The original Broadway production continues to be one of the gold standards for that industry, continuing to be a hot commodity in every territory that it is showcased. Things were taken to the next level upon the release of the highly anticipated film adaptation. Behind John M. Chu's immaculate direction, incredible production and costume design, high-level cinematography, and top-tier performances and musical sequences, Wicked became one of the biggest cinematic experiences of the 2020s and, in my opinion, one of the clear-cut examples of how to turn a beloved Broadway show into a must-see cinematic event. This, of course, had people salivating for the long-awaited next chapter that was on its way the year after. While Wicked from 2024 covered the first act of the musical, the follow-up Wicked for Good covers the second act, with a couple of new story additions thrown into the mix. After such a show-stopping introduction, can this concluding chapter deliver that same magic and change us all for the better? Well, I'm ready for the answer if you guys are. So let's hop on our broom or inside your bubble and find out together. Here's the Porter Report movie review for Wicked for Good. The land of Oz is in a state of societal flux. Escalating tensions stemming from marginalized citizens being over-policed and incarcerated have painted a grim picture of the future for a land once teeming with life and diverse communities. Stepping up to try and quell the growing crisis at hand, Glinda assumes the role as the ambassador of Oz, under the leadership of Shiz University Dean Madame Morrible, in an attempt to bring light to dark times. But there is one individual from Glinda's past who has made it her mission to bring her own light to the injustices that are being hidden behind Oz's curtain of lies. Branded a dangerous fugitive for refusing to compromise on Madame Morrible and the Wizard of Oz's corrupt governmental regulations, former prodigy Elphaba Throp wanders the land of Oz attempting to expose those in power for the destructive misdeeds that have harmed so many innocents across the land. As these two former friends find themselves on opposite sides of a growing conflict, both Elphaba and Glinda must confront their inner demons and face the challenges ahead to do what is necessary to change their world and each other for the better. Following a 365-day intermission, the time has come to return to Oz for the next chapter in the musical phenomenon that has captured the hearts of moviegoers everywhere. Serving as the epic conclusion to the cinematic adaptation of the beloved Broadway production, Wicked for Good sees the dynamic duo of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo return to deliver a show-stopping finale that aims to take the musical genre to new heights. After going on this incredible journey down the yellow brick road, Wicked for Good puts the capper on what I can only describe as the new blueprint for cinematic adaptations of musical stage productions. The practice of adapting a story from the stage to the big screen has had its fair share of missteps. The key to success is getting the right team together and having that team understand what makes the material such a rich and beloved canvas. Wicked for Good has the blessing of having all of that just like its preceding chapter. It is abundantly clear that director John M. Chu understands the material and uses the language of film to create something that isn't just an adaptation of a play, but a cinematic showstopper that thrills from start to finish. Much like its predecessor, the film benefits from top-notch execution across multiple departments. There is a plethora to highlight, but I think the best place to start is with the on-screen talent, who truly leave it all out on the field in this finale. What more can be said about Cynthia Erivo and her star-making role as Elphaba? After capturing the hearts of viewers in Act 1, Act 2 sees her have a commanding presence throughout the film, all while continuing to captivate audiences to a chilling degree. In her second outing as the character, Erivo displays an Elphaba that feels the weight of the world on her shoulders, but is still determined to stay the course she thinks will bring effective change. There are a lot of moments that display Elphaba as a bona fide force, both heroically and after her inevitable heel turn. Erivo truly brought this iconic character to life in such an impactful way, and I am truly grateful to have seen it. However, a ton of flowers also has to go to her popular co-star Ariana Grande, who becomes a revelation in her own right as Glinda in her sophomore outing as the character. Grande was a hilarious scene stealer in the first film, but For Good truly sees Grande displaying the incredible emotional depth needed to really effectively bring this character full circle. I am thrilled that Grande got to have some moments of her own to shine even brighter this go around, but in a much more meaningful and emotionally rich capacity. As for the other members of the ensemble, Jonathan Bailey is strong in his second outing as Fiyero, truly capturing the conflict of the character, who is struggling to keep a straight face in the midst of blatant corruption and lies. Seeing this side of Fiyero was refreshing, and Bailey delivered on all fronts. Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh equally deliver as the Wizard and Madame Morrible, both making despicable yet compelling antagonists, and special praise goes to both Ethan Slater and Marissa Bodie, who really captured the tragic circumstances of both Nessa Rose and Bach, as both characters' respective ends drastically change them in soul-crushing ways. This brings me to one of the strengths of the film that also might be its weakness. Wicked Part 1 is this bright, colorful, and emotionally reverent spectacle that brought joy to countless moviegoers, myself included. That said, the story's trajectory upon the completion of the first always had the narrative going to a much more sinister route tonally. It should be noted that Wicked for Good is a vastly darker movie than its predecessor. From the tone, the imagery, to some of the sheer moments of emotional and at times physical brutality that take place from scene to scene. This was to be expected, and I applaud Shu for really leaning into it and not shying away from it all. In fact, the film is surprisingly more action-heavy than Part 1 right from the opening set piece. But like everything, it all serves a purpose, and the moments of tension and emotional weight all pay off in the end. Additionally, Wicked for Good continues to do what its predecessor did and be a masterclass in multiple facets of filmmaking. The cinematography is as strong as it's ever been, the costumes and sets are immaculate and truly bring the world to life, and the performances, especially vocally, are just as chill-inducing as the previous entry. Even if the ones in Wicked Part 1 hit a little bit harder, that isn't to say that the music sequences in this movie were not a highlight. Grande had some especially top-notch musical numbers where you got to see a little bit of her vocal power, but make no mistake, Erivo's soulful essence is still awe-inspiring as she surprises absolutely no one, delivering a show-stopping rendition of No Good Deed, and displaying incredible vocal chemistry with Jonathan Bailey on As Long As You're Mine, and with Grande on For Good. The chemistry between Grande and Erivo truly makes this film worth the price of admission, and I don't think a better duo could have been assembled to bring these characters to life. It's just one of the many things these two movies nail that makes them such a special thing to experience. Overall, Wicked for Good is a satisfyingly emotional conclusion to what I can only describe as one of the great musical epics of our time. It is not often that two movies come along that are brought to life cinematically in a way that somehow elevates the story to new heights and creates a blueprint that I think future attempts at adaptation should follow. With such high-flying expectations set upon it, Act 2 of this sprawling musical epic truly succeeds in changing the genre and its audience for the better. Rarely does an adaptation come along that truly elevates the source material. Many try yet fall short in bringing a beloved production of the stage to the big screen in a way that is both meaningful and impactful. Luckily, John M. Chu, Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, and literally everybody who worked to bring the 2003 Broadway crown jewel to life on the big screen have provided an incredible blueprint to build off of. Wicked for Good is a truly emotional experience, and at times a tragic one tonally, but it is never one to deprive its audience of hope. If there is a criticism or a disadvantage, the biggest one could be that it had to follow up a spectacular first act. But in a way, it's pretty much the same criticism that the stage production got, so I guess A+ for consistency. In all seriousness, I truly see Wicked and Wicked for Good being the blueprint for the musical film genre moving forward. The care and detail that went into both of these productions needs to be studied, and the practices should inspire others to put the same amount of effort into every aspect. From set design, costume design, cinematography, and most importantly, casting actors who can authentically sing and sing in a way that elevates the emotion. When you watch the movie and see the No Good Deed sequence, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Miss Erivo, we truly do not deserve you. Guys, I can literally go on, but I am truly grateful that Wicked and Wicked for Good exist and that the right people were chosen to bring it to life. We are truly looking at a modern musical epic, and if this is what is in store for the future of the genre, this could be the start of a promising new era for the industry. But now that you have heard from me, I now want to hear from you guys. Sound off in the comments below your thoughts about Wicked for Good, but be mindful of anything that could potentially be seen as a spoiler. I truly hope that both of these movies have brought you just as much joy as they brought me, and that they have truly changed you for good. Be sure to keep it locked to the channel for more reviews and videos throughout the remainder of 2025 and beyond. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend to stop on by. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, and until the next review, I'm BJ Porter, and this has been The Porter Report.